en la página de la APG?
Sí.
¿Tienes esa liga?
De Brasil.
Sí, 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 te la paso.
APG
Hello,
Brasil.
Guillermo.
Olá.
Sí, hola. Placer.
Olá. Prazer.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Enrique, Vice President, YP Mexico. And here we have Maribel De La Luz,
Hello.
who is going to
Hello.
participate as a specialist, as well as Christian Lopez.
Nice to meet you, Guillermo.
And I'm sending you la liga. Un momento. Okay. Everything ready, Guillermo? I don't know if you have doubts on the questions related. The question will be answered by you four.
Uhum.
I will be, for example, the first question, I will start it if all agree with you, Guillermo, then with Maribel, Igor, Christian, and so on. I will rotating. So don't worry of the order. I'm going to say like, Guillermo, what do you think? Maribel, what do you think about this question? And I can repeat the question if you need it. Just ask me. And yeah. And if you want to present some slides, you can do it. Tamila, Maribel is going to present slides. So if you allowed her to share the screen, I think just put
She's
the
a co-host now.
co-host. Okay.
Guys, we are on live on YouTube.
We are almost. Okay, you just let us know.
Jenny is trying to get in.
Yeah, I think is right now. Hola, Gianni. Hola, Mauricio. They are from part of our YP.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, Mauricio.
I will check the YouTube channel of YP Young Professionals Brazil.
So, okay.
The YouTube link is on the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Oi, Gui. Nem te dei boa noite.
Boa noite.
Okay. Wait me a sec, just for a cup of water before. Listo. Tamila, let us know when it's on live.
We are already live.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Good.
Igor is connecting, so I think we are ready.
Okay.
Oi, Igor, boa noite. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes, porque en México es temprano. So I think everybody's here. Can we begin? Can we start it? Hello.
Yes, everybody is here. Hello, Igor. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, Tamila. If you consider, we can begin.
So let's get the party started. I don't know if anybody is aware, we are live on YouTube channel, YP channel, YP Brazil channel. So let's begin. I would like to say, first of all, good afternoon / evening, everyone. Hello, panelists. Great to have you all here, share your point of views about the industry with us. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And on behalf of YP Brazil, I would like also to welcome you all from the audience to our very first joint activity with YP Mexico. I'm Camila Bastos. I'm the current Vice President of AP Brazil, working ahead of the chapter with Priscila Amaral, who is currently the president of the chapter, and also my great friend, who is unfortunately not be able to attend this activity tonight. About my background, I'm geologist, master in base analysis, and in Brazil I work at National Oil Agency, which is a government institution which regulates the oil industry in Brazil. I think that's it. Hope you enjoy this time with us. Henrique, you have the word.
Thank you, Tamila. Hello, everyone. Welcome to you all. It's a pleasure to be with you all tonight, this afternoon in Mexico. As well, it's a big honor, and we are so happy to work together as first time with the YP Brazil. On behalf of all the Mexico's APG YP team, we say welcome to everybody as well. And welcome also our guests today, our panelists that I'm going to present to you all. We have Guillermo Zoek, our specialist from Brazil. He is a geologist with graduation and master degree at Universidade Federal do Paraná, Brazil. He has more than 7 years experience in the exploration production industry at operator company, participated in Repsol International Trainee Program, worked as well site geologist, following drilling pre-salt wells. As exploration geologist, worked in regional evaluation and pre-salt area, Brazil. As a new ventures geologist, performed evaluation of prospect and new opportunities as binding farm mounts. Currently working as a project analyst with BI reports. We have also Igor Villegas. He's geologist at Petrobras in organic geochemistry area and specialized in analysis of petroleum system. He works at the Petrobras Research Center, CEMPES, since 2006, developing RD projects and technical scientific assistance for the areas of exploration and production. He actively participates in several national and international technical scientific associations as the Brazilian Association of Petroleum Geologists, as well as ALAGO and AAPG, Secretariat Treasurer of Latin America and Caribbean. From Mexico, we have Maribel De La Luz. She is a geologist, engineering from National Polytechnic Institute, MBA from Tec of Monterrey and Stanford University of Texas at Austin. Currently, she is taking courses for PhD in Management Science in Guadalajara Autonomous University. She started as a paleosedimentology geologist. She later was specialized in petroleum exploration projects evaluation and head of office at Portfolio Project Management in exploration from 2016. When the energy rounds bidding started in Mexico, she was the leader of evaluation group to the bidding blocks in association business cases for exploration. She was part of the Women Leaders Group from 2016 in the Pemex and ONU Inclusion Agenda. And now she is Petroleum Vice President for the Mexican Geological Society and Treasury responsible for the Mexican Association of Petroleum Geologists. Now she's independent consultant and is part of the part-time professor in the UTLAB Jenkins Business Graduate School in Mexico City. And Christian Lopez, He is a geologist with more than 16 years of experience in the oil industry. He has worked on the exploration projects evaluating the geological risk and pore pressure through modeling with Pemex and private companies. In 2016, Christian joined the exploration area of the National Hydrocarbon Commission, where he collaborates with the estimation and prospective resource in deep water and conventional land areas, and not in conventional, through the evaluation of place prospect, currently performing as the General Director of the Technical Exploration Unit at CNH. Welcome to you all specialists. It's a big honor to have you here, and we are so pleased to this afternoon to share with us in this panel discussion. Before to start, I would like to tell you about the dynamic of the event. The event titled the panel discussion titled, "What kind of abilities does the oil industry expect from the young professional?" Our objective in this event is to create a space for students and professionals in the area of geoscience, where according to the experience of each panelist, can share their current vision and future of professional development, career opportunities, and area of improvement within the Latin America and global oil industry. We are going to begin the panel discussion. There are going to be questions related to the abilities, to the career of professionals, based on their own experience of the specialist. They are going to be answered by each specialist, and they have 3 minutes to answer each question. Before to start, I would like to put you all in context. You know that we have known that through these last years, we have seen a global oil and gas industry transition to CO2 zero emissions, looking to transform our primary sources from fossil fuels to alternative energies. Actually, days before, Denmark government announcing their decision to stop by 2050 their drilling oil activities in the North Sea. With these challenges, the new young geoscience professionals are facing new challenges with an energetic and a technological era that we actually combine it with the actually health stage, where the jobs and activities increasingly are becoming remote. With this scenario, with this stage, I would like to start with the first question, which is, what tool and strengths do the new generation and professional should have in the area of energy transition? And I would like to begin with Guillermo, the first question, and welcome.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. I think it is a good question, and I'm gonna be really direct. There is no correct answer or wrong answer for this question, because nowadays the knowledge is very accessible to everyone. Everyone can access any kind of information. So the most important point is to understand what you like to do, what you are good in doing it. So this is the first step before like trying to do something, learn something, is train something that you are not good at, or you're not going to develop very well in these skills. So I think the first step is trying to understand how do you believe you can learn better, what kind of subject. But putting this on the side, one thing that is really important is to know how to adapt it to different situations and different kind of jobs, because the energy transition is there. The companies are changing. I used to work as a geologist. Now I'm moving to work with data. So we need to adapt it, and to adapt it really fast. This is one point that is really important to everyone be aware. And the other thing is to search for knowledge, to like know where to find the knowledge and how to learn things by yourself. Because in the old days, the companies you would like to bring the young professionals and like training them on everything. And nowadays, some companies are starting, okay, they are still training, but they expected the young professionals to have at least some some knowledge that they have searching on the internet or doing some course. So I think there is another question regarding the technical skills. I will skip for this, the giving some ideas of subjects to study, but I think the two most important points to know how to adapt to different situations, and to know how to search the knowledge, different knowledges, and like to be proactive, not waiting the company to teach you, to say what you need to learn. You need to be one step ahead always.
Thank you, Guillermo. Now we go with Maribel to answer this first question related to tools and strengths to the new generation for professionals, young professionals.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and it's really a pleasure to talk with young professionals of AAPG. So as just Guillermo said, there is not a specific tool or strength to point out in this complex environment that involves energy transition, but I would like to share with you just few slides. Let me see if you see it.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in. Let me. Are you seeing it in presentation mode?
Yes, we are seeing
okay.
it present. Yeah.
Okay, so just as Guillermo said, there is not a specific one, and of course, energy transition came to.
Sorry, Maribel, can you change the mode of presentation, because
okay.
we are seeing the.
Let me see. Yes, okay. Let me stop sharing. Share again. Okay, let me see if it says okay.
Oh, you can.
Is it okay?
Keep it like that. Yes.
Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I was saying is that energy came to stay, and this is just a few scenarios that among all a diverse scenarios that have been made, and of course, renewable and alternative sources are going to develop. Some organizations and some companies think it's going to be faster, some think it's going to be slower. But in any of this scenario, I think oil and gas are going to still be needed for energy as an energy source. And maybe it's going to be diminished a little bit since from today and on latest tendency, but we are going to be needed anyway. So in this context, and I'm going to share this with you later, so you can pass to your audience later, and you have there the references where you can find more information and dig on more detail. But as I was saying, there is no simple one. I would say that tools and strengths that young professionals and even mature professionals will need in this energy transition need to be related in the first step with being aware of technology development. I mean, in technology development, and I know there is a full range of options there outside, but you need to be aware, you need to be following the developments according to your area of expertise or your area of development. And in here, I would like to remark that sometimes we think, and of course, when we are young, we think that the best thing is to find and to apply the state-of-the-art technology, but not all the time. Sometimes, of course, maybe just state-of-the-art technology is going to be the only one that is going to solve a complex problem that has not been solved previously in geosciences. But sometimes there are technologies that are being developed. Maybe they are not the state-of-the-art, but they are feasible to solve your geoscience problem. So you need to be aware every time. You need to be aware of the new developments and know them, and just be aware of which one of these technology is the best affordable, and also the one that fits affordability on your company and solving your problem, okay? The second one is related to a shared vision. And this is very, very important because we need to be, of course, as you saw, be very aware of sustainability, environmental policies in our ethic work as geoscientists, but also not to forget that we work for a business. So any business can be environmental sustainability if your work doesn't add value to the exploration value chain, okay? So this is the second one, an ethic approach, making a mix in an equilibrium, I would say, among economic value and sustainable environment in all our work. And the third one, it's a systemic, I would say, a shared vision toward learning as community. Exploration has always been a group learning, in succeed in every exploration area, not only in petroleum, but also in every discipline of exploration. It's a group, a team success. And the last one is develop a vision, an objective, and a future vision of our personal goals that can be embraced in your company goal. So you cannot pursue anymore just a single individual goal if it's not sustainable among the entire vision of your company. So you need to work toward a common objective with your company, with your team, with your coworkers, among all the organizations. So every strength is strengths and tools that should be needed to embrace these four aspects in your development will help you a lot. And this is for this question. Thank you.
Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, Maribel, for remarking really important points. Continue with this same question. I would like to ask to Igor to his opinion. I think your microphone.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry. So thank you so much for the invitation. For me, it's a big pleasure to stay here to talk with you guys. I think it's a very important action for everybody, for the geoscience community. For me, it's always a big pleasure to work with you guys, with the young professional people. I think this is the future of our association. And I think that this kind of action is very important to sustain our community. And so regarding to our main subject today, so I think that the professional, the main question today that I think that Maribel covered very well is that the oil industry will not end up, because we can see in the news, in the journals, that okay, the oil industry will go down, and if you will, we can see that the concern oil. So because of that, I think that we will still have a lot of work for geologists, geoscientists. Okay, I think this is a key point. Today, I will talk in a Brazil perspective. So we passed through a very hard period here in Brazil. And today, I think that next years, I think that the market will be better. I think that this recovery it will start in next year. We passed through a pandemic situation, so we have very good people in the market that is with job, but it's not working. But I think that the positions will start to come out, and so we have a very good people in the market that will try to apply for that position. And I think that's something that is very important for the new professionals, is to try to develop the soft skills, because probably we have a lot of good people in some specific area. For example, if you would like to have a geochemistry, so probably we'll have more than 20 geochemists very good in that area. But I think it's something that's very important today, is try to develop the soft skills. I think this is something that really is something different when you will evaluate the curriculum of that person. So a kind of tip that I can give to you guys is try to develop the soft skills. Is something that it's the company is always try to looking for these people that try to aggregate, knows how to work together, always give some different solutions for the same problem. So I think it's very important today. Today, the company is passing through a hard time, so we are trying to do our investments in a more efficiency way. So something, a tool that's very important that I think is necessary to have, to keep in mind, to know how it works, is the digital transformation. So this is a very important tool that I think that the new generation of professionals need to know, because it's a way to do more with less and faster. And we are passing through a period in the oil industry that we generate the results, so we need to transform these results in interpretation and give this interpretation linked to the business to support the decision. If we do this faster, so we will probably have we have more successful in our business. So I think if we have this kind of professional, that will help a lot in this situation. So the first tip that I can give it to you guys is this: so put some effort to know how to develop this kind of knowledge in digital transformation and in our curriculum, because I think this will be a big difference today. The other thing, I agree with what Guilherme said, but I think that we need to understand, for example, that he mentioned that, okay, you need to put a lot of effort in something that you like, you are really good. And I agree with him in some point, but something that we need to keep in mind is what is the type of professional that the market wants. And I think if you are not so good in some aspects that the market is what is necessary for the market, so you need to try to put some effort to develop that area of knowledge or skill. Otherwise, because I passed through some process, and what happened is that the companies is looking for some people with some specific knowledge, some characteristics, some soft skills. And if you don't have the soft skills or knowledge, you probably will not enter in this position. So try to understand what is the necessity of the market and try to develop your knowledge and your skills to be more prepared for the market. So I think, yeah, so this is my opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you, Igor. Good points to consider and to analyze, and we will go deeper on the next question on that. And Christian, what do you think about what do you can say about the tools and strengths to the new generation should have?
Okay, thank you, Enrique, and thank you to all the team of young professionals for the invitation. It's a pleasure to me or to stay here with you. And as my colleagues told in their interventions, we need to start to change our mind about the new energies and to do many different things and to evolve with the technology and many things. And of course, we are facing an energy transformation from fossils to renewables. However, the petroleum industry is much more than diesel and gasolines and the energetics. So we right now we strongly depend on petroleum industry in many different fields, from the electricity generation to petrochemistry, for example, in manufacturing industry and many things like that. So in our life, in our modern life, we depend of many ways of the petroleum. So according the 2020 BP report for consumption of petroleum, in some countries, only some of them, the consumption has slightly decreased. But in general terms, the world consumption has been increased from 2018 to 2019, and driven mainly by the Asia growing. So the forecast and the idea is to reduce this consumption of hydrocarbons. However, this is a process. This is a long process. This is, of course, we have now alternatives in energy, solar, wind, and the electric cars and things like that. But but we this more in Latin America, this will take a long time because probably we are not prepared, or we are not developing the technology like in another country. So in my opinion, we need to follow developing or to developing the students, developing technology to have or to have this petroleum that we have in the subsurface. So at the same time, the big oil fields has been gone each time. The reservoirs are smaller and are complex. And in other words, the easy petroleum is over. So we need to study harder and to study the border of our basins. So we need to incorporate more detailed studies in order to investigate this petroleum that we have in the subsurface. And right now we have access to information more than ever in the history. We have very easy access to conferences, courses, talks, among others. So we have this pool of information, but it's impossible to attend all the information or to attend all the courses or conferences that are available in the market, in the internet. So one suggestion is for example to go through to the internet and to find this kind of courses and to be very selective about what the students or the graduates are looking for. And for example, we need to find according the topics, or for example, what I need to know to solve the problems that I'm facing in my area, in my basin, probably in my thesis work, for example. And also one advantage is the similarity in between the basins. So we can find different basins around the world, and we can go through and find which basin is similar to the basin that we are investigating, and to work with that, and to take these courses, to take those talks. So, and one important thing about the geology, the geological, and many things is to be critical. I think this is another suggestion, because, for example, in Mexico, it's very common that the people respect the hierarchy of the people, but not all the people, or not the bosses, have the truth, or no one have the absolute truth. So if you have the basis, if you have the fundamentals, I encourage you to be critical about the geoscientists, because this is one of the most important things, to be critical, and to change the mind of our colleagues. And I think that this is my intervention for this question, Enrique.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Christian. There are good points to consider as well, to be self-taught person, and those are important points. In addition, and going to the next question, in addition of this tool and strength, we have seen that the soft skills nowadays in this pandemic that we are going through, that communication, that is very important, digital tools. That's going me to the next question, to Maribel. What kind of soft skills could help young professionals to overcome career challenges? For instance, one example, as I said, is communication gaps or misleadings among the different generation professionals.
Thank you. Yes, as all my colleagues have commented before, soft skills are very important. And let me show you just one slide here that I like very much this. And are you seeing now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, are you seeing in presentation form?
Not yet.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, now seeing.
I like to very much this sculpture that it is by a Mexican sculptor. It says in Spanish is hombre autoconstruido, says self-auto-constructed man. And because it's very related to what all the soft skills we need to develop, not just, I mean, it seems that now in this pandemic environment that soft skills take more importance, but they are always been important. As I mentioned in the first question, exploration success has always depend on group work, and group work needs soft skills to be developed for every geoscientist as a complementary well to perform better in their career. So geoscientists demands nowadays more than ever to embrace diversity in our group. And I like to enhance this word embrace. I mean, to feel it, to really recognize, to really value diversity among our colleagues, among our coworkers, among, if you are in a position somewhere as leader, among all your coworkers. And it means not only different nationalities, but also in a deeper way, to embrace diversity in thinking, diversity in preferences, because all of this is going to enrich always your work. It's going to bring better opportunities to see things in a different way. geoscientists, as in every discipline, but geoscientists more because we work with indirect information. And with the indirect information, everyone can have just a part of the picture. If you embrace diversity and enrich them, you're gonna enrich your vision with others' points of view, and this is a requisite in exploration work. And then the other aspect is always to be, it's related, but it's always to be open to listen others' opinions. And it's good to defer, and it's good to say that you are not agree, but you need to listen other reasons in technical as well as in personal opinions. So just to quote and resume, I think I would like, there are many soft skills we need to develop as geoscientists, but I want to mention just 6 here to remember easy, because I think each one of them involves all others. And the first one is empathy, and empathy in the full sense that we need to, with our coworkers, with our colleagues in the team, we need to put it says like put in the foot of the other sometimes, not only in the technical view, but also in the personal view. Have collective learning. Collective learning is always enrich your vision. And collective learning means to share your information, to share your interpretation, to share your data, because you're gonna learn better in group. To be proactive also. And communication, you mentioned communication in both ways, because it seems sometimes nowadays, I know that it's easier to write with short words, but good communication, verbal and written, it's essential to avoid these misleadings you are talking, you're asking your questions, these gaps of communications. And I know that it's different ways of learning, different ways of communicating among different generations, but a good verbal and written communication is always gonna help to understand better among different generations. The other one is leadership, because in every step in your career, you will have a little bit of leadership, and when you are going up in your career, you are going to need more. So you need to start very early in your career to develop your leadership style, okay? And the last one is creativity. In creativity, in the ways of breaking sometimes your own mental models to new learning, to new ways of doing things. So I should resume in these 6 like cool skills for everyone, for every professional, not only in geoscientists, but among all professions. And in this way, in exploration work for petroleum or for any other alternative energy, this 6 is gonna help you a lot to work in team and have succeed in your work in your group. That's all.
Thank you, Maribel. Now we go with Igor. What do you think about the soft skills that could help young professionals to overcome challenges?
Okay, so it will be very difficult to say something different from Maribel. Maribel presented a very nice slide for us, and I think she covered almost all the main topics. And I will highlight the topics that she mentioned, and in a different way. So I think that communication is something very important, and it's sometimes when you are in a big company as Petrobras, you can recognize that this kind of soft skills is something very, very important. And we know that there are some people that really need to develop this kind of thing. So if you are a good speaker, you know how to transmit your idea, probably you have something very different. And if you don't have this skill, so you can try to put effort to try to develop this kind of skills. So that's something that's very, very important. Something that I think that we need to keep in mind that today, I think as we are in a world that is changing very, we need to work with pride. Sometimes during our career, we pass through sometimes that we'll suffer some kind of pressure. You need to give results, so you need to know how to work in this kind of environment. Something that is very important again is to know how to work in group. I think this is one of the main soft skills that a new professional needs to have. Always be available to learn things. So we are, as I mentioned before, so we are in a world that is changing fast. So you need to learn new things. I think something that is very important, you need to study forever. Always, we need to study different subjects in different levels, and we'll always be exposed in different situations during your career life. So you need to study more. To be creative is very important. Christian mentioned this before in the previous question, and you need to be critical regarding to some aspects. You need to have this creativity in order to propose another solution. And I think that the oil industry has this big evolution always when something very new appears. So, and this kind of thing pass through one guy that has a different interpretation, look the problem in a different way and propose a different solution. So, and other thing that's very important today is that my boss always mentioned to me is you need to know how to fail fast. Because during our career, probably we will make some mistakes. It's normal. Everybody fails. We are not perfect persons, so probably you will fail during your career. We will learn with your fail, but something that it's really important, it knows how to fail fast. Recognize that, okay, this way that I am working now, it's not a good way. Probably it will not a good result if I work in this way. So I need to change the direction. And it's totally linked to what Maribel said. It's open to listen others. Maybe other people can give some tips and to open your eyes regarding to something. So I think this is a very good aspect. So this is my idea. Some part of them is it's like most part of these things that I mentioned, Maribel covered in her slides. So that's it. Thank you.
Sí. Very true, Igor. Guillermo, what do you think about this question? Kind of soft skills could help young professionals?
Well, soft skills is becoming year after year one of the most important skills that the companies are looking for, because like technical skills, it's easy to learn, easy to give like a training to a person, to an employer to employee. But soft skills is something that takes more time to develop. So it's something that the company, like when they are looking for someone, they have like for different positions, they have different kind of soft skills that's needed. So they are always looking for the soft skills during the interview in different ways. So I'm not going to say that is the right kind of soft skills that's needed. Some of them Igor and Maribel covered that are important. I think one of the most important is communication, because without communication, you are not going to do your job. You are not going to communicate what you are doing. You're not going to pass the information forward. That this is very important. So, as I said in the question before, it's good to understand yourself. Like, what's your, because there is different kind of soft skills. What kind of soft skills I'm stronger, and what kind of soft skills I'm weaker. So when you are going to interview, you need to know what are your points of strength in the soft skills, and where you recognize that you need to improve. So this is very important, and the people from human research, they like when you can recognize the good and the bad points. So a good way to recognize this is doing the personality tests. In the internet there is several kind of personality tests. You can Google it and try to do 1, 2, 3. They are not the same, but they are always similar. And I have done several of them. And they if you read them, okay, it's difficult that you do 2, 3 times, they are going to say something wrong. Normally, it's something that's similar to you, and some points are really easy to recognize in yourself, but some of them you need to take a time to, okay, maybe I'm like this, but I never have thought about. So I think this is an exercise. You're not going to change or to learn something new in the soft skills from one day to another. It's something, the first steps to recognize where I'm good, where I'm bad, and from these points I'm bad, how I can improve, and the ones I'm good, where I can go even further, so I can build a differential in these soft skills. So I think for me the message is like to understand yourself, and I think this is the most important point.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you, Guillermo. And now, Christian, this question.
Enrique, may I add something?
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, but I really agree with what Guillermo said, because I would like to share some experience that we had in Brazil, and I think it was 2 years ago in the Brazilian Geology Congress that we had in Rio de Janeiro, and we had like a special session that was focused on the young professional people and try to give some tips. Looks like this kind of webinar that we are having here. And one of the students asked it to us, because we are putting a lot of effort related to the soft skills. So we need to develop the soft skills, we need to develop the soft skills. And one of the students raised his hand and asked, so what about the technical skills? Because you are talking about only soft skills, and what about the technical skills? And the answer was that probably there are a lot of people, very good people. If we have one position, probably we will have 10 or 20 very good people for that position. But if you are a very good technician and you have very good soft skills, so probably will be the person that will be chosen for that position. So, and I would like to highlight what Guillermo said, that is very important to keep in mind. It's something that walk together, the technical development and the soft skills. That is the idea. Sorry for this interruption.
No. Please, anyone that can complete the next question that we are having in the following question, please, if you want to add something or debate some idea, please do it. Finishing with this question, Christian, what do you think so in the soft skills that could help to the young professionals?
Thank you, Enrique. So I completely agree with Igor, because I think that the soft skills are the complement to the technical skills, because many people can perform a model in the good way or in a perfect way, but if you don't have these soft skills to communicate or to translate these technical results into the manager the levels, it's probably doesn't work, because this is, for me, this is one of the most important things. So I would like to punctualize something in this soft skill, which for me is one of the most important for the geoscientists, which is the communication. And it's about to have the ability to give the message, or the right message, to the right people, or according the audience that we are having in that moment. And some of the people, of the young people, we work in technical groups. I mean, a group of an entire group of geoscientists, where the language is easy and the conversations and presentations will very straightforward. For example, this is the river fall, this is the salt rock, the oil window occurred between 65 and 32 million years, etc., etc. And this is the normal talk between the geoscientists, and that's good. But some of the people will work in a different kind of teams, or eventually the people will evolve in the groups, and or rise in the organization, and you probably must communicate and translate the geological setting into another language, the language of projects, the language of government regulations, or the language of the investment. So during my career, I have been working in different kind of groups. For example, during my work in the regulation entity in Mexico, the CNH, I have this kind of position to translate this part, or the technical programs, the exploration programs, into the regulation, and to explain the lawyers, the economists, what the people is or the companies is trying to do in their areas. So it's very common that the geologists deliver a presentation to the managers with hundreds of slides, and this is good. Technically, it's good because the core of the business is the geology. For example, if the petroleum system doesn't work, we have not industry, we have not nothing. But probably those lawyers, economists, or MBAs doesn't understand what is the message that we are trying to give them. So you must start to think in the results, of what is the impact of these results in terms of the project, and in terms of the future studies, the volume of hydrocarbons, probably the geological risk, and the investment in some particular areas. And for example, in the other hand, we have or we can give presentation to students, or probably to the media, some newspapers, or etc., etc. So it's very important to adapt, or to modulate our presentations in order to give this message to the audience. So summarizing, we can talk about the same topic to different kind of people. So it's necessary to adapt the speech that we are using for each case. And my final intervention in this topic is I would like to give you a phrase that one of my mentors told me some years ago. is that when you have the ability to explain your work to your grandma, of course, and of course she understands, means two different things. First, that you understand your work, and second, that you have the capability to explain your work to anyone. And that's my intervention.
Very, 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 very true. That part of a good communication and different technical languages. And talking about languages, besides talking about the technical, besides the soft skills, we are going to this next question, which is related to the technical skills, and is which technical skills do you consider the young professionals should strengthen according to the actual trends? And this one is for Maribel. We start with Maribel.
Thank you. Well, a lot has been said about technical and soft skills, and let me share you here some slide that Dr. Edith Newton showed last July. Have you seen it in?
Yes.
It? Okay. Okay. So this resume very good. Most of the technical skills related to each area of expertise among different paths that geoscientist career can go on among different sources of energy in this energy transition area. And I'm going to explain all of this, and I'm going to give it to you, to your audience, because you can see it in the Dr. Newton Wilson presentation in the last AAPG, and that she names very well that the subsurface architects of energy transition. And that's how that's what your scientists are now in this era. We and George Young, your scientists, are the architects of the subsurface, the subsoil interpretation for any kind of source of energy. So you can consult it later. But again, just as in soft skills, there are not any single that it's the one is the best and is the one you should follow. It depends on your area of your path career you are following. But the first thing is that you need to choose your field that exacerbates your passion. If it's exploration for petroleum, if it's exploration for geothermal sources, or if it's exploration for hydrology or geotechnical studies, whatever, you need to choose which it's your field that more enhance your passion, because you're going to develop it better. And it doesn't matter which is, you need to choose one. And then when you choose one of your path careers you are following, your scientist, it's just like a doctor. It takes time to an effort, as Igor and Guillermo and Christian has said. You need to develop your experience in technical background in any field you are pursuing, but you need to focus on technical competencies that you need to develop, that you want to develop in this area and in this path career. And it takes time. You need to study. You need to always be open to learning, and open to learning not just in a formal way, but also learning by your coworkers, learning in your surrounding. And as Igor said, learning of your mistakes and of other mistakes. Failing in exploration, it's a constant. We work with uncertainty, and we know that we work with geological probability of success in any kind of source we are looking for, even if it's for minerals, or for aquifers, or for geothermal sources, or petroleum sources. Everyone has a complex, because we are looking to indirect information in the subsoil to find out the source of energy. So failing, it's good. Failing is good if we recognize it and we share the results of this failing in order to avoid others to produce it again, in order to learn from what for instance, in the petroleum system, which part of the interpretation of the petroleum element fail and why does it fail? This is a very enrichment source of learning, the failing. So we need to develop our competency, our technical competency in the area, even if it's geochemistry or regional studies or petrography or whatever. It takes time. You need to learn all the time. And then when you are learning, you need, of course, to complement your technical competences with according trends of digital era and data analysis and all the skills you need in this era and in this new also normality that experts in pathology sells. They were also working with virtual working among your co-workers in different parts of the world or different parts of your country. And this is my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you, Maribel. In this question, now we go with Christian. The same question, which technical skills do you consider young professionals should strengthen?
Hey, thank you, Enrique. So I think in these times, the actual trend is mainly about software, connectivity, cloud storage, social media, and others like artificial intelligence. And as I said previously, this trend has been exponentially increased during the pandemic time. And probably many of these things that has been emerged will stay in the industry and in our lives. I think for the young professionals, it's really easy to learn to use any kind of software because they were born in the digital era. But the most important thing is to understand what the software does, the physical principles on which is based, and what the software is, and probably the differences in between one and another software, or probably into the same software, the differences in between the different or the algorithms that the software uses to make some calculations. So to be very straight, my recommendation is to go back into the books and combine the advantage of the software with the theoretical background and put those together or put these examples of the books from the books into the digital world. For example, for me was very at what moment of my career was very useful to make some simple models into different softwares and make variations, for example, in changing lithologies, petrophysical properties, temperatures, ages, the angles of the biogrammas, etc. So this kind of exercises will very useful. First, those kind of exercises help to understand the phenomenon that we are facing, to know how the software works, the capabilities of the software and the limitations. And finally, this understanding will help the people to build future models or future and more complex models. And basically, this will help you to make or to build this model into your head and to finally translate or to put these models in a software, in a digital world. Because one of the advices that I also received during my early career was that you must first have a model in your head in order to represent this in the digital world. And for example, doing petroleum system models when I worked with some company, I did some simplistic models and with 1D models doing different kind of variations to understand what the model do in that simple, and how the model can or how the model is doing in a bigger scale, or probably in more complex areas. So this is one of my advice to the young professionals to go back to not to go directly to the software, because the software is a simple tool, but you need to have these models in your head previously.
Thank you, Christian. Back to basics. Okay, Guillermo, what do you think? What is your opinion about this question?
Well, regarding these technical skills, well, regarding the geological skills, I think this is easier to everyone to go learn, because you learn this on the college, you know where to look for information. I think this is not a differential nowadays, and I don't see this being a differential in the future. So for this part, the technical geological knowledge, I think if you want to go to the oil industry, for example, we are here, everyone here is from the oil industry, you need to understand how the oil industry works, because you have several kind of positions a geology can perform in an oil and gas company. So you have petrophysicists, geophysicists, interpreters. You have like people specialized in geochemistry as Igor. So you have several positions that geologists have enough knowledge. So you need to, if you want to go for a specific area, you need to learn how this area works and what kind of knowledge it's necessary. So I think it's ask people on LinkedIn who has the same position as you want to have in the future, or people who work in the oil industry. Start asking questions on LinkedIn. Find people you never have met before. Start sending messages and asking regarding, okay, I want to go to this position, or I want to go to this company, what kind of information is necessary. I think this is a good way to have an idea where to start. But I will give some other tips that are not the subjects that are not related to geology, but I see that they were important a few years ago. They are becoming more important. I see in the future it's going to be extremely necessary. The first one, the Christian has said about the software. So one thing that I think is essential nowadays is programming. Everyone needs to understand. I don't know, I'm not going to say everyone needs to know how to program something, but at least understand how programming language works and how, like the basics, to do some basic program, like the mathematics and how to handle files with well, I'm gonna say Python because it's the one that's most common in the world nowadays. Because I'm not gonna say the people will need to work with programming language and they are going to program something, but they will need to get to talk with people from other areas, from other backgrounds. Some of them need to be like building or developing your software that you are going to work. So we need to know how to talk and how to discuss. And one thing that is really, really important is we need to understand that the programming language can allow us to do anything, like anything, automate things. So it can make our lives really easier. We can do our jobs even faster if we learn the basics to automate and to do some like file handling. If you're working with an Excel with several thousands of lines, you need to do some transformation. well, whatever. If you know how to do this in a Python, for example, this is really fast, and we're not going like wait a lot of time working in the Excel or any kind of software to work on that. So I think this is one important point. The other one is data analysis. Nowadays, everyone says that we are in the age of data. So I see this from several areas, that the people has access to hundreds of thousands of data, but they don't know what to do with this data. So we need to understand how the databases work. We need to know how to work with a database to filter and to have an idea what to do with this data. What is a big data? How much is a big data? What kind of information can we take from this amount of data? What's the basic statistics we can do with this data? What kind of information, like the people that are working with me, they have the same data, but they are not seeing this powerful database. So we need to understand the basics of data analysis to be able to extract information from this data, because, well, not only in the oil industry, but any kind of industry, we are dealing with, well, thousands of data. For example, I'm going to say the production data in Brazil is public. We can download it. Imagine like public data from production since the beginning of the oil production in Brazil. It's hundreds of thousands of lines, and if you know the basics, it's really easy to work with this, and we can extract thousands of informations, and this can help different areas of the different companies. So I think data analysis, programming, and other areas relate to management, like accounting, economics, because if you want to work in a company, we need to understand how the company works, what the company needs from you. So the company, well, at least for my side, I'm working in a company that needs to make money. So I need to, how is the economics of the petroleum? How is the economics of my company? How I can help the company to improve in this area? So I think these three parts: the management, data analysis, and programming. I would say another one, but this one is really starting right now, is that the energy transition, more or less, subject that are the electric energy related areas. So there is no, at least in Brazil, there is just a few programs, post-graduation programs that there are starting regarding this subject. But if someone wants to pursue this area, the energy transition, I recommend to research what kind of information do you need to understand to work with, to understand how the solar panel works, how the distribution of the energy works, and how can we improve the energy production of any kind of source of electric energy. So this is something that are starting right now, and I believe if someone wants, this is the right time to pursue these technical skills that there have been building right now. I know there are some online courses on Coursera and EDX from Harvard, so I think it's a place to start to have an idea of subject.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you for that interesting point you're considering. Igor, in this question.
Yeah, so it's a difficult task for me to say something after you guys. You covered all the things, so I will highlight some points, but yeah, I'm saying again. So for me, data science, it's a very important skills that you need to know. I will not talk about the technical skills related to the geological subject. Let me, as Guilherme said, as geochemistry, geophysics. So I think that you can develop this technical skills during your college. So I think this is not a big deal. So I think everybody needs to have this deep knowledge in the technical area. But this kind of other areas that will give more support to your technical geological subject will be the data science, the digital knowledge, as everybody mentioned before, because we need to get more information in a fast way that can be applied in the business decision as soon as possible. So I think that this is the main idea when you talk about data science and digital knowledge, let me say like this, and how to get more information for the same database and how to give faster in a faster way, and how this data can help you in the business decision. The other thing that Guilherme has covered was the energy transition and the environmental, and the other thing is try to associate our job with the energy transition and try to mitigate the environmental impact. I will give some example. For example, the CO2 sequestration, and you use the CO2 in order to enhance the oil recovery in some fields. So you conjugate the two things. So I think this kind of professional that has this kind of eyes, okay, I need to propose some projects that has a good aspect in environmental way and will help in the energy transition. Or, for example, explore gas that is a better energy for environmental and linkage the petroleum exploration with this kind of energy that is low carbon energy, let me say like this. And I think that these two things are very good aspects that the new professionals need to develop in the near future. I think this will be a different aspect in his career that will catch the attention of the company in the next years.
Thank you, Igor. Okay. Yes, Maribel.
I would like to add something to what my colleague says, and it's something very important that Guillermo said, that not only technical skills among the geospecialist area in exploration or in geoscientists, but also the complementary technical skills, and not to be a specialist, but as Guillermo says, and I think Igor and Christian has mentioned, to know how to some complementary skills as data analysis, but also some other disciplines around us in the exploratory process. For instance, Guillermo mentioned to know how to exploit and interpret production information, for instance, to gain more knowledge in your exploration area. So that's important. Maybe these technical skills are not to be developed as a fully specialized path, but you need to know as a geoscientist how these complementary skills in the technical exploration or production background, and also how to use technical skills to exploit that data. That's it.
Thank you, Maribel. Thank you for this intervening. Okay, we are moving to the last question. The last but not the less important. And this last question is, what is your advice and comments to the young professionals who are concerned about the oil market uncertainty or future, or the ones who have lost their jobs? We start with Christian.
Thank you, Enrique. So, as I said previously, during my first intervention, this energy transition is a long process. Additionally, the oil industry is necessary for the modern life, okay? And not only for energetics. So, during the history, the exploration and exploitation industry of petroleum, this industry has experienced several lows and highs. This is normal, and we have faced several times this kind of situation. So despite the energy transition, the consumption is still growing. We told that in the first intervention also. So at least from this growing, we saw this growing between 2018 to 2019, and probably in 2020 the situation will be different, but this is a different situation. This is a different thing. But I think eventually this growing will go back to the trend that we had from the previous years, because the population, the lifestyle is will be probably not the same, but very similar that the situation before the pandemic time. So if this growing trend continues, the cycle of these lows and highs must go back to a high. Probably not the same high that we have in previous years when the barrel broke the barrier of the $1,000, but it's probably that we have this high. So when this time will come, probably the companies will go open positions for many people. So I think this time is probably a low time in the industry, but I think it's a good time to be better geoscientists, to be prepared for the future, to go to study some master, to a PhD. I think it's a good time for that, to because eventually this, or we hope that this go back to the high, and I think we need to be prepared for that. And I said that the easy petroleum, it's over, so we need to go back to be prepared to this petroleum that is not easy more. And this is my simple question about response to the question.
Very thank you, Christian. Now turn for Guillermo. What is your advice or comment to the young professional? Please.
I'll do some comments for this question. Well, nowadays all the international companies and even national companies are more worried about the carbon footprint, how much they are generation of CO2, methane on the atmosphere. So this is something that we need to realize, that all the companies are counting how much they are releasing on the atmosphere, and not only releasing, but indirectly you are consuming energy, you are consuming directly CO2 equivalent, or we need to understand these kind of terms, because all the companies I see, all I'm not saying oil and gas companies anymore, I say energy companies, because all the major companies, the oil and gas companies are now energy companies, generating energy from different areas and exploring oil and gas. And one important point is something that everyone agrees, that the gas is going to be the middle term between the oil and the complete environmentally friendly generation of electricity. So, and this is I would say, at least in Brazil and Latin America, the gas is something that they're just starting. I'm gonna share a slide. let's see. Is not this one. It's just to give an example from another presentation. Okay, here is just to have an idea. If you were going to compare the gas infrastructure from Brazil with the ones from USA and Europe, we see we are almost in the same size, but we lack this infrastructure from gas because we are not giving the as much importance to the gas as the other countries, and I see this as a good opportunity for us. In at least in Brazil, we have a lot of possibilities to develop and explore and produce more gas. And another, I see this as a positive point because we still need to explore at least for a few decades oil and mainly gas in the next years. And the other thing that we are very lucky to be in Brazil and Mexico. I don't know if there is someone outside the Brazil and Mexico seeing us, but we are in the two main countries where almost all the main blocks have been, the main bid rounds have occurred in the last 5 years. So we have several blocks have been acquired in Brazil and in Mexico. I've been working in Mexico in some evaluations. I know a little bit about the Gulf of Mexico, and I saw that several companies are starting to drilling and made some discoveries. The same in Brazil, companies are starting to drilling some different kind of pre-salt, some more risky pre-salt play. So this demands more job because we are exploring. So if we're exploring, so we need someone to map, we need someone to drill, we need someone, if it's a discovery, we need to develop this, we need to produce. So I see this very, very positive because I think the only two countries in the world that have very important bid rounds, very organized, and they have like every year different bid rounds. And I see this as very important because when you sell a block to a company, this company at least is going to do some seismic, shoot some seismic, and maybe drill a well. And if it drill, it's a discovery. Every step in this process of the exploration demands people working. So I see this, at least for Brazil and Mexico, as a positive point, because this is different from all other countries. As for example, North Sea, because it's overexplored and the countries are stopping exploring. But I see the opposite here, at least in Latin America, mainly led by Brazil offshore and Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico, because there is at least in Gulf of Mexico, there is places, there is basins that they haven't drilled before, like Cordillera, and there is still places for new discoveries, and I think this will boost the market for geoscientists. But I would say it's always to be aware of the energy transition and to understand how the companies are moving, because, well, we never know how it's going to be the future, but at least I see the exploration production from Latin America it still has a long way to go.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you for your intervention. Now we go with Igor. The same question. Your comment and advice.
Okay, just 30 seconds. I think that we covered a lot of things previously. So first of all, we start hard, very hard, because I think we are in a period that it's a good time to start hard and to develop your technicals. As Christian said, so the oil industry, it's a cyclic industry. So now we are in a lower period, but probably we will improve. And the only thing that I know that probably will pass through another crisis again. So it's normal in the oil industry. So I would like to say start hard, it's necessary to have a good network, and I think that the technical associations as AAPG is a good way to build up your network. It's a good way, and be available to know new things. I think that is the three main tips that I would like to give you guys.
Thank you, Igor. Now we go with Maribel. Maribel.
Thank you. Well, I am really agree with, I really agree with all my colleagues. I mean, as Christian said, this is as I would like to send a message of hope. I will say that because this is a crisis not only for Brazil or Mexico, but it's all over around the world. But I completely agree with Christian, with Igor, with Guillermo. This is a cycle industry, and we are now in the low. In the valley of the behavior in industry behavior, but every crisis, I always say, every crisis has its own opportunities. And as Guillermo said, of course, every time it's exploration is more complex. We need to go to a more complex, deeper areas. But I really think in the technical point of view that there are still some opportunities for new plays, as Guillermo says, in Latin America, in Brazil and Mexico, and some places in Latin America. For instance, I'm just collaborating with some colleagues that are analyzing some blocks in shore of Nicaragua and in the shore of Honduras. And there are important, I mean, interesting plays that are more complex, of course, but there is still plentiful of exploration opportunities. And we need, as Igor said, as you young professionals need to be prepared, need to study. And if you are facing a hard time in jobs, well, it's time also to prepare. As I told you, Enrique, sometimes in a little conversation before, it's time to prepare also, as Christian and as all my colleagues have said. And aside from the technical point of view of preparedness, I would like just to share last few slides of like a personal reflection that what we can do besides or to complement our technical preparedness, you know? Are you seeing now, like?
Yes.
So this is just, and I'm gonna give you all this material, but just as Peter Senge says, we need to build our vision in every time. And we need to build our vision, and this is adapted from Peter Senge book of 5th Discipline, that it's always, I think, it's still applicable, that we need to embrace our personal vision among the company vision that we are, or among the environment we are living, professional and personal. And this is a how can I say, this is, we need to work to strengthen the forces, to go against some forces in the past. We have some anchors, some beliefs, some prejudices, some cultural limitations, or some justification we need to face. And these are invisible forces that we need to work with in our current reality to transform the future we want to get in the short term. So, and this is related to what Igor and Guillermo and Christian said. We need to be prepared. We need to study always, always. And the second thing is to be aware in constructing this vision is we need to reflect ourselves as where we are now. What do we have now? What we have achieved professionally, academically, personally, and where do we want to go? And in this part, we need to develop new skills, as we have said along all this conversation, new skills, technical and soft skills, identify our challenge. Every one of us, every one of you have talents and have passions, and we need to identify and be aware of that. And then we need to identify our capabilities with these talents and with these new skills. And with this, we need to perform our living project planning. What do we really want in the future? And this is time to reflect. This, I mean, not because it's just a crisis. Every time we should be doing that, but this is time to sometimes in a crisis we need to make a stop and to reflect what do we need, what do we really want in the future. And I would like just to close with this one that says sometimes we see success in other or outside our environment, and we think it's luck. But just I leave you here a quote of Paulo Coelho that I really like. It says, concentration, you need to concentrate and to focus on what you really want, on your plan in life. When you want to achieve something, says Paulo Coelho, keep your eyes open, focus, and make sure how exactly what you want in the future. No one can go to anywhere if we have our eyes closed. So luck in our lives means to be ready to find the opportunity, to cope the opportunity, to embrace the opportunity when it gets to us. And it can be done by preparation, by two things: to prepare ourselves always, and to be aware what do we really want in the future. So I would like to close with this. Thank you very much.
Very thank you, Maribel. Well, now we are going to the end of the panel. I would like to summarize all the ideas you have been sharing with us, all your experience. I would like to summarize the embrace diversity, the good communication with all the different generation in these times, that is combined with the soft skills that you have to improve and acquire the leadership, creativity, the available to learn, always keep learning, fail fast, as Guillermo said, practice and practice to improve soft skills. And also, as Maribel says, project planning, your life planning, how renewable energy works, how the industry works, and all related to how the market is working right now. So understand yourself and understand the situation, and keep learning and keep improving. So thank you very much. We have some questions. We have some comments. Please, Tamila, you help me
Actually, we
with.
have some comments, but before that, I would like to once again thank you all for for sharing your knowledge and giving us some precious advice. And I was the whole time at the backstage following up YouTube and Zoom comments, and I would like to read some of them for a feedback. So I just read two, okay? Because in Brazil it's almost 9 p.m. and we all, I bet we all very tired and hungry. So David, sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. I think it's Nori. Say many thanks to the panelists for the positivity. These are very helpful tips, especially during these trying times. Also, Julius comments that he were glad to hear about the advice to create more options to develop the capacity of young professionals in the context of national oil companies such as Petrobras and Pemex. I would like to highlight that we have a good range on YouTube with almost 50 people watching us, 50 views. So I I myself consider that it's a great range due to the time and the difference of time in Mexico and Brazil. So I think that's it. Guys, thank you very much. Igor, Guilherme, especially, always saving us.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, Guilherme.
Great to count on you.
To all you all, we have been very happy to have you all here, and this collaboration between both countries, I think, is a first step of new activities. And well, we were happy because we closed this year with this great activity. And hope you,
it's our last activity.
Yeah, last activity of the year. And thank you all that have been watching us in all activities, in the different activities of Brazil, of Mexico, and all the APG Latin America. And thank you all to have been here.
Thank you. Many thanks, people. And Maribel and Christian, it was a pleasure to meet you. I hope we count on you another time.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you for the invitation, and I hope that this is. I would like that we have more collaboration like this, and we have this opportunity to be in contact.
For sure.
Also, I would like to. I appreciate really, and thank you. I really enjoy to have this conversation with you young guys. Uncertainty is always there, as we said previously before the. So I think your scientists are more prepared than any other discipline, professional discipline, to face uncertainty. So as Christian said, positive things come when we are prepared and we look for that. And it was a pleasure to share this meeting with Christian, with Igor, and with Guillermo. I don't know if I pronounced correctly, but it was really nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, it was a big pleasure. It's a very nice experience. So it was very nice to meet you guys. So thank you so much. So I'm available if you want to do another kind of action like this. So I'm totally available for you. I think this is very important for our association, for the new generation of geologists. So thank you so much. And it was a big pleasure to meet you, to meet my friend here, Guilherme, a long time. It's nice to see you, my friend, and Tamila. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe and happy holidays.
Guy, would you like to say something?
Please.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Tamila.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Stay in touch.
Mila, Enrique, see you.
Nos vemos. Hasta luego.